of Command Education, a New York City-based college consulting firm, and we're here to talk about just how competitive elite college admissions has gotten. So, Chris, give me a sense over the past several years or even the past couple decades for parents that are thinking about how it was when they applied versus their kids today. How much more competitive has elite college admissions gotten?
It's completely different. We're seeing students start the process as early as 7th and 8th grade. We have parents who are calling in with 3rd graders who are worried about, what school they should send their child to. But it's getting more and more competitive, especially over the past year or two, because a lot of international students are now returning and want to join and attend U.S. universities, especially from the Middle East and Asia.
And so are there any particular schools that have gotten even harder to get into in recent years?
Definitely. I would say NYU, Emory, Northwestern, Duke, WashU St. Louis. A lot of these schools were always incredibly difficult to get into, but to this extent, I've never seen something like this where NYU's acceptance rate is hovering around 10%. When I applied to college, I believe NYU's acceptance rate was about 33%. So it's significantly different, and I think it's largely due to the fact of the number of international students applying.
And are there any other contributing factors that you see as well?
Definitely. I think the SAT and ACT going optional played an huge role in the demand of applications. Obviously, submitting a strong test score is important, but I feel like there are quite a few students without test scores who are getting in. A lot of testing policies have changed now. Before, if you didn't take the SAT and 2 SAT subject tests, which is no longer a thing, you couldn't even apply. Now it's open for everyone to apply. So I think that's creating more demand. Students are applying just because why not? So I think that's really contributing to the historic low acceptance rates.
And so tell me, among your clients and the people that you work with, how is this impacting them in this process? How competitive are they with each other?
I actually have a funny story. We have a parent who changed my name in her phone so that in case I was texting or she was texting me or I called while she was out with friends, that my name wouldn't pop up on her phone.
Wow.
So it was like Kevin Park or something. And I only found out about this because she emailed me and the contact said Kevin Park. And I thought I got hacked. And
Oh, wow.
I was like, how did it say Kevin Park with my email address? But that's how she saved it on her phone.
Oh my gosh, wow. And how is it impacting students? Because I remember just a couple years ago doing this process myself, and these elite schools really are so hard to get into, and it's hard not to attach your self-worth to that a little bit.
I really do believe that each student will find the best fit school. There's a lot of things that happen, things that you can't control. You can do everything right and not get in. The acceptance or rejection does not define you. And I think that's really important to understand. Obviously, it's easy for me to say, but I genuinely think it's true. Each student will end up at a school that ends up being the best fit for them.
And so, Chris, how common is hiring an outside firm to help your kid in these elite schools?
I think a few years ago in the Horace Mann School student newspaper, around 33% actually admitted to hiring an outside counselor. And if that's just the students who admitted to it, I think the number is a lot larger.
And so do you expect that these trends of increasing competitiveness are going to continue?
I think so, especially because how easy it is to apply to these schools now. A lot of schools now offer optional essays. Now, if something's optional on an application, I would still recommend and highly suggest you still complete the essay, write the essay and everything. But at the end of the day, it's so much easier to apply. All the testing restrictions have been, pretty much eliminated, even though I do recommend taking the test. But that's why a lot of these acceptance rates with historic lows are not necessarily telling the full story.